Okay, this is going to be the first of a series of videos showing different aspects of Blender and how to use them. This one's going to be about controlling the camera and moving objects around in the 3D space. When you first open Blender, it's going to have this splash screen. If you just click on it, it gets rid of it. I've got, I think it'll be displaying any buttons I press, so you can go back and see what I actually pressed. In college we're going to be using Macs rather than PCs. The program's more or less the same for Mac and PC. The slight difference is the mouse configuration is different between a PC mouse and a Mac mouse. To make Blender work for us on a Mac, we need to change a user preference. So we go to File, User Preferences, and then along these tabs at the top, select Input and check Emulate 3-button mouse. The reason we do that is on a PC we can press the mouse wheel in to rotate the camera around the object. That doesn't happen on a Mac, so we need to press Command and then right click to move around is the basic difference. So once you've got that checked, if we do Save User Settings, it will remember that setting. I'm on a PC at the moment, so I don't need that, so I can turn that off. So we'll be pressing Command and right click on a mouse on a Mac, and that lets us drag around. On the PC I'm just pressing the middle mouse wheel in and dragging around the screen to move around the object. This lets you look at your object all the way around. We've got some orthographic views which are accessed from the numeric keypad on the right. If you press 1, you'll get the front perspective view. If you press 3, you get the right hand perspective view, and if you hit 7, you get the top view. So it's 1, 3 and 7. Now, as well as the perspective view, which is where I suppose like perspective things get smaller the further away from the camera they become, we've also got an orthographic view which you access by pressing 5 on the keypad. Now this removes perspective from the object, so when you're looking at a cube in this instance, you're just seeing the one face of it, so, front, right and top. Now, as you move your model around, you can end up with your object kind of being off the side of the view window. To get it back in the center, you press the period button, which is, I suppose, a decimal point underneath the 3 on the numeric keypad, which will throw it back into the center of your screen, which is very handy when you've lost your object and you've just flown off the screen and you can't find it. If you're working with more than one object, it highlights the selected object into the center of the screen. To move the object around in the 3D space, we have these control handles. There's a green, a blue and a red one. If you left click on that and move your mouse left and right, it'll move your object along the horizontal axis. If you do green, it moves it forwards and backwards, and blue will do it up and down. Fairly self-explanatory. Now these don't allow you to control the diagonal directions, but we'll get into that at a later date. So we've got the arrows to move the object around in space. We've got command right click if we're on a Mac, or just the pressing the scroll wheel will move it around on a PC, like that. The other controls we have, if you press shift and the mouse wheel, it will move the camera up and down, and if you're looking over things, and if you press control and the mouse wheel, it will move the object left and right depending on which way you fire the mouse. So that will do us for tutorial 1. So to recap, we've got File, Preferences, input emulate 3-button mouse for a Mac. Then hopefully if you press save user settings it will remember it, but depending on how the college computers are set up it might forget it. So that's how you turn it back on yourself if you find that you're unable to rotate around your object like that. To zoom in and zoom out, that's just the scroll wheel on its own, forwards and backwards. Great. Lesson 1.